my god, cancer.
It's funny.
Let's go ahead and we're nearing the 2-hour mark, which is when I usually like to cut it off. Let's go ahead and take a look at Billy's stream last night. This is from T-Clips. I recommend you sub her. She tosses up a variety of clips, ranging from political to drama and stuff like that. A lot of stuff that we don't talk about on this show goes up on there, so I'd recommend you hit sub. And sometimes she throws up my stuff on there too, so it's very nice. However, last night Billy the Fridge went on live stream and was talking about this. He was talking about, you know, the title of the stream was why I shouldn't have gone to Onision's house. Which, you know, look, I was pretty mixed on Billy Friday night when we did our now infamous or whatever raid we did when we did it with Pescator and Gator and all that. I was kind of, you know, a little, you know, mixed ways with Billy. At one hand, I was like, okay, you didn't really do anything wrong, but on the other hand, I was just like, it kind of looks a little pathetic here. I really don't care about what he did now after I've, you know, it's been a few days and I've thought it over a little bit. I've seen him on interviews and stuff and I understand his side. So I really don't care anymore. If you still have an issue with Billy, that's fine. But I don't really, you know, it's whatever. He's been taking it pretty, like, hard, though. Like, he did a stream immediately reacting to the response. Then he did, I think he did another stream reacting to it. And then he did last night's stream. Yeah. Where he's talking about how he shouldn't have gone to the house. He's
talked way more about it than, like, even how his initial stream lasted. Like, I'm pretty sure it was first, he did an immediate stream after it. No, he first went on Drunken Peasants and talked about it. Then he did a 3-hour stream on his IRL channel. Then he went on Tommy's show. And then he did another 6-hour stream on his other channel. It's just like, Jesus. But, yeah, anyway, he's really worked up about it.
He went on last night. He talked with, actually, some of the victims. Now, Sarah, well, a couple of them, to be exact. Sarah went on there, and then Regina went on there. Now, the whole thing, and this is just Sarah's clip. Regina, I don't think Regina's even in this one. Is she?
It happened the night before, and it closed.
No, that's still Sarah. So this is just the Sarah clip. It's an hour long. The Regina clips, I believe, is 20 or 30 minutes. So obviously, we're not going to play the full things. But play a little bit, you know, see what happened.
Yeah. What was going through your mind when he was doing the sexual things to you is what I want to know.
Okay. I couldn't believe it was going down.
I just want to say, like, the way, like, she says it, right? The sexual... She's referring to when Onision, like, humped him or whatever.
Yeah,
That was... I mean, unless there was something else going on that I didn't pick up on camera, I think that was, like, a joke or something, you know? Like, when you're hanging out with your friends, you start, like, fucking humping them just as a joke. Like, hi, you're gay or whatever. I think that's what he was doing. That wasn't, like, fucking... Like, he was, like, trying to fuck Billy on camera. Like I said, you know, the image is a little blurry. I don't know if something was happening that I didn't pick up on somehow, but... When she starts it off like sexual thing. All right, you know.
Yeah. By the way, before we watch more of this, do we want to like establish like our opinions on Billy doing this stream to Onision's house in general?
Let's let it play out a little bit before I get my take. Okay.
Like, I haven't talked to him since like you came out. You know, like when you came out with the information you did, I went to his house and I had one talk with him. I wanted to give him like the ability to explain himself to me. I knew there was gonna have to be something like big, right? But I wanted to give him that, and we talked. And at the end of the conversation, I was like, "Man, you know, I'm done working with you." I stopped.
But why did you work with him again then?
Well, tonight here on this live stream.
I mean, like when you went to his house.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I mean, on this when I went to his house, this was not planned. I was on a live stream. My entire I was gonna go to the courthouse and live stream the courthouse, and I figured I'd talk to Repsion and I'd talk to people who flew out there, and then if I ran into him, there might be some sort of confrontation. And on my way there, I got a flat tire, and so I missed the court date, and I was already live streaming when I got the flat tire, and my audience was like, You got to do something. Go to his house. And they had donated a bunch to pay for my flat tire. And I was thinking in my head for like a good hour or so on the live stream. I was like, I'm not doing that, guys. That's stupid. I'm not doing that. And I'm thinking, like, I'm saying on the stream, this is not going to be good. This is not going to be good. I'm not doing that. And I had Joe with me, and Joe's like, you're a coward. You're a pussy. You're a pussy. And I'm like,
I know who Joe is.
Yeah,
I know who all you. I know who.
Yeah, spoiler alert: none of these girls are a big fan of Joe. I was re-listening to his Billy's stream, the original one, the IRL one where they met Onision, and the moment they get back into the car, Joe is just being a complete dick. Like, he's just going on like, yeah, we don't care about the victims. Like, he was joking, obviously, but like, he was like doing everything they shouldn't have done to rile up the wrong people that you do not want to get on the wrong side of. And that's, of course, the anti-Onision people who were like super into it. You know, they were canceling Billy left and right. Billy was getting pissed at Joe too, actually. It was it was a complete clusterfuck. But yeah, none of these girls are a big fan of Joe. Billy describes Joe as like this type of friend who's like a complete asshole, and he enjoys like putting Billy into uncomfortable situations. And to be honest, I relate to that. Like, me and my friends are like that to each other all the time. But, you know, in the context of this situation where they're hanging out with fucking Onision, yeah, probably not the best idea.
Who all of you are. When was it? In July of this past year, 2019, he was supposed to go with you guys to a filming meeting of some sort. He canceled that because he wanted me to come up while Kai was away and be with him and date him and all of that. When we got in our fight and we broke up, he broke up with me, just so it's clear. And when we broke up, he went and filmed with you guys one night while I was at home completely by myself, just on the phone with one of my friends crying.
Damn.
And I just want to know, like, did he ever mention at all that there was an 18-year-old girl back at his house that...
No, not that night.
He was fucking, or did he just leave that out?
He definitely left it out. Every once in a while, I would joke with him about the throuple. I was like, "Are you adding somebody in? Are you adding somebody in?" And around that time, I would joke, and he would always. It was like half a joke, half like me wondering what the hell's going on. You know, just trying to keep him on his toes and see what the fuck's going on with his life. And he's like, because at the same time, this is getting long, a little wordy. There were other girls that I knew that were around that wanted to be in the three-way. You know, they wanted to be part of the throuple. And they would come
like
around
Jessica
to film.
or Hannah or
there were names, and they I kind of like questioned to see where he was at with that, because I knew the girls were around with high hopes in their head, right? And he never once said anything about you. He always told me, I found out that just one girl is too much work. One girl is too much work. So the whole time I'm thinking, you know, he's not interested in these girls.
When was he saying that?
I don't know if it was exactly that time that you were around, but it was within the last like 6 months to a year probably. And he might. Yeah,
it was really interesting actually, because he would have like YouTubers over sometimes, like, and you know, like I've seen Anastasia before. I've seen, you know, other people he's worked with. Tony V even came over and actually saw us all laying in bed together one day when I was 17. Didn't say anything about it. So I'm just wondering, like, had you known anything, what would you have done?
If I would have known that some shit was going down when you were underage, I would have went to the cops or told everybody, right? Like, my entire reason I was hanging out.
Here's the problem. Billy is too innocent for this world. Oh, man. You know, people were tossing some compilations or something of, or clips of every time somebody had donated, like, when people, apparently a bunch of people donated my name that I didn't even know about. I didn't even see it on the original stream. So people were sending me clips, and they were telling me, like, yeah, Billy probably knows who you are now. And I was like, yeah, if he does, he probably hates me, dude. After I shit on Jeff, and I shit on Bimpai, his retarded DP host or whatever. Yeah, he probably hates me. I've shit on, like, 2 of his closest friends. And people were like, no, Billy, just chill. Billy's like that guy who's, like, just friends with everyone. And I started thinking, I was like, you know what? That's how he got himself into this situation in the first place. He's just kind of that guy who's just like, you know, you ever like start talking to people and then other people be like, yo, you shouldn't talk to that guy. He's a fucked up dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Billy's the guy who's just like, whatever, I'll talk to anyone, doesn't matter. And in doing that, he's kind of crossed paths with the wrong dude, you know? Somebody's a little too, it's not just that he's an asshole, he's like, you know, something a little more illegal.
Yeah, but it's not like that he'll be with anyone at a certain point.
Say it again, you cut out.
Oh. Yeah, it's not that he's friends with anyone, though. He definitely draws the line at a certain point.
Yeah.
But that line is just way further than a typical person. Honestly, I relate to that. I'm pretty similar in that way. But yeah, I have cut off people for being like too much of something.
Pedophile? No.
Yeah, no, that's actually what happened once.
Oh, wait, I'm remembering a story you told me. Never mind. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, don't be friends with pedophiles.
Not a good idea.
Not a good idea. Or groomers, which Billy knows, but obviously, yeah, you're right. Billy.
You can't just rely on what other people say, though.
Yeah.
Like, that's the one thing that's good that Hans has done. He has just popularized, if I can say that word, he has popularized how much of a shitty person Onision is, to the point where it's almost impossible to know nowadays. The only person who doesn't know about Onision is Leafy. I saw Leafy was in Billy's chat. Leafy was like, people are so mad at Onision, why? Obviously, he has no idea what's going on because he doesn't care about the internet anymore. But it's like, if you're like Leafy and you don't know what, you know, if you like barely pay attention to the internet, you know who Onision is, you know what he's been alleged to do, and you know, yeah, stay away from that dude. Not a good guy. Yeah. Anyway, let's keep listening.
And out with him was because I thought he was getting better. I took your word for things, saying nothing was going down. I was like, look, if she's saying it's not like that, guys, it's not like that. Okay? You can speculate all you want, but I'm taking her word. And when your word changed, I changed. And I was like, okay, I can't.
I see somebody in the chat saying, let's see, Greg is a manipulator and Billy is a dumbass. Perfect match. I would disagree with that.
I don't think Billy's a dumbass. I just think
I will say,
he's an optimist.
Billy is not a dumb person. I've been watching him for years, not religiously or anything, but you know, I tune into his stuff since I found him in 2016, and he is surprisingly a good speaker. He's a good orator. And that might sound like weird for me to say, but you know, I've listened to his streams where he'll go on like just like monologues about just certain topics or whatever, and he is well spoken. He is able to he's able to
articulate well?
Yeah, articulate himself well. Now recently, if you've looked at his recent streams, then obviously that's not the case, because he's gonna shake it up. He's a little worried. And I think he genuinely gives a shit about not shitting on these girls or making them feel bad. He's also a masterclass entertainer. Maybe his sense of humor is not for you, or his comedy's not for you, but I've listened to stuff. He's a funny guy. So no, I reject that. He's not a dumb guy at all. He's very smart. What happened was there's two things you gotta do when you're a live streamer. There's what you're willing to do for entertainment and money at the end of the day, and I guess your sense of morals, I guess. And you gotta kind of balance it out. Like, sometimes, you know, you can do crazy stuff for attention or whatever, but it's just completely fucked up. And he had to really balance that out live. He had to come up with the decision live. Do I go to his house? Do I not? Okay, fine. I'll go to my house. I mean, people are donating with the intention that he goes to the house. How can you not do that? You're like, in a way, you almost feel like you're scamming your donators. They're paying you to do something entertaining. What are you supposed to do? Be the pussy, turn around and be like, nah, guys, we're cutting the stream short. You just completely short-sold the audience. To some extent, when you IRL stream, he is correct about this. You become the tool of the audience in a way. Not completely, but you know, when they're paying for a certain thing, you gotta give them that certain thing.
Yeah, and obviously you're still responsible for what you do and all that. And
right.
Billy definitely has taken responsibility, but it's like
he found himself.
He wants to put on a show, right?
what happened was he found himself in an impossible situation. What he should have done is never, if he really wanted to like not be in this bullshit, he should have never even done the stream to begin with, the driving to the courtroom stream. Never should have fired that stream up. But you're looking 5 steps ahead at what could happen. You know, the original premise of the stream, going to the courthouse. What's wrong with that? You know. It's what happened was the flat tire, the fact that the court session only lasted allegedly like 30 seconds or something, and it was cut short. The fact that then people are like, "Oh, go to his house." Then they're paying for you. Then they're literally paying for your car to pay for your flat tire so that you can drive to Onision's house. Like, they demand it. What are you gonna do? You're an entertainer. You're a comedian. You have one job: is to entertain the crowd. And what are you gonna do? Just short them out of content? I mean, you know, it's easy to say in hindsight, yeah, probably should have gone to his house, but you got to put yourself in his shoes at the time. You can argue that while he was there interrogating Onision, the questions were weak. He softballed him. He let him hump him on stream. He was generally pathetic. You could argue all of that, but him being there in the first place, he pretty much had to go. And to avoid the situation, he would have had to have thought like Super 5D chess 5,000 steps ahead. You know, so there's got to be some amount of sympathy towards Billy in this situation. You know, you can go hardball and just be like, yeah, if it were me in this situation, I never would have gone. Okay, well, nice job, asshole. Easy for you to say, you know, like easy. But in the context of a streamer, and I'm not even an IRL streamer, I'm just a regular streamer, I understand what happened. I understand where he got himself. Now, what happened last night was, as he was opening his mouth, talking about it again, he shouldn't have gone on and talked about it again. From his perspective, he felt there was a moral agency to talk about it and condemn his actions because he felt like he had done something terribly wrong. And in doing so, he attracted the attention of the victims, which might sound like a good thing. He's having a conversation with these people. You know, maybe there's some clarity on board. But what happened was, the victims came on and they were upset. You could argue whether it's okay for them to be upset or not, but they were upset. And what happened was, for an hour and a half, they basically railroaded Billy and trapped him into a situation where they were condemning what Billy did, and Billy was just taking it up the ass the entire night, and he couldn't. He couldn't do anything other than to accept it because he had got himself into this situation. They were sitting there chewing him out. He had to take it. He couldn't just go on offense against what? The victims of rape? That would be a terrible idea. That would be impossible. There would be no possible way in the field of optics that would have worked out spectacularly in his favor. So they come on there and they condemn his jokes. They condemn his actions. And you can't argue against it. I mean, he is a comedian, he is an entertainer, but these girls are also victims. You gotta remember that. You know, last time I was kind of looking at it, I was like, man, he's just getting railroaded left and right. These girls are kind of being a little too unfair to him. But then again, it's like, if we're gonna put ourselves in Billy's shoes, we gotta put ourselves in the shoes of the victims. You know, they're sitting here, they have no idea what IRL streaming is. They don't know what type of entertainment, what type of comedy he's trying to achieve here. They just see a guy trying to profit off of their severe misfortunes for extra shekels, and they see him show up to the house and ask these softball questions and really buddy it up with Onision, or so it would appear on camera. And how are they supposed to feel? They're gonna feel like, okay, this guy's an asshole, trying to use our situation for money, for clout, for attention. This guy really is, you know, the lowest of the low from their perspective.
Yeah, both perspectives make 100% sense. Nobody's malicious in this scenario, except for Onision, of course. But
you know, I'm not here to say that, you know, if you're upset with Billy, you need to completely change your mind. You know, be upset with Billy. And if you think the victims, you know, railroaded him a little too hard last night, you know, certainly, you know, go for it. But I'm just saying, put yourselves in the perspectives of both the parties here and really analyze the situation. It's not entirely black and white, right? I disagree with them from the sense that, you know, I don't think what Billy did was offensive. I don't think what Billy did even demeans them. I don't see it as that way at all. What they were mad about was a joke that I think Joe had made, where Joe was like, this is for the victims, while Billy and Onision were stick fighting. which fair enough, I guess, but I don't see that as a shot at the victims. I saw that as, making light of the situation, which then they argue is, wrong or whatever, which I disagree with. But, that's just my perspective, my analysis of the situation. I like Billy. I think he's a great guy. I think he got himself into an impossible to win situation last night. And to really avoid this, he would have had to just not done the stream from the first place, but then to analyze what he could have, what he found himself in later on would have required like crazy 5D chess planning over here, which is just unrealistic to put on Billy here.
Yeah. I do think it was important that Billy did talk to the girls eventually, though. Probably not on stream, that isn't ideal, but I do think he should have talked to them. It's good that he had this conversation, period, probably ideally privately, because those girls, like, obviously it's not like they're getting offended, like, to pretend to be offended or whatever, because fuck Onision. That, like, it actually, brings up certain emotions from their past experiences, seeing this content. That's not necessarily Billy's fault, but Billy should, or it's not necessarily Billy should reconcile with those people and make sure they're okay with him on a personal level and with the whole situation, all that. So it's good that he did talk to him.